See what happens. Let's see what the Lord has in mind here. So this is CC, Caitanya-caritāmṛta Adi Lila, chapter 17, starting from 247, verse 247. One day the Lord, in the ecstasy of the gopis, was sitting in his house. In the ecstasy of the gopis. See, the ecstasy of the gopis is what? Spontaneous devotion. Okay, and that level too. That's a very. And he was very morose in separation. He was calling gopi, gopi, gopi. You see, very morose in separation. So what do you do when you're in separation? You want the bhakti, really, right? Because Krishna, you're chanting Krishna, Krishna, and where is he? In separation. Often he doesn't even appear. But he's thinking, I would surmise the Lord is thinking, hey, let me get the bhakti of the gopis, because that's very attractive to Krishna. They'll bring Krishna here. See? So he's chanting gopi, gopi. Yeah. He's chanting, please, bhakti come, devotion come, right? Yeah. I mean, that's what I pray for. What about you guys? I mean, Krishna's everywhere. But without devotion, you can't recognize that, right? So what's his fault? He's just chanting, he's acting appropriately. He's acting honestly and truthfully and very intelligently, calling the gopis, right? So this is true intelligence. See? So a student comes up, and you see, if you listen to the whole thing, there's a student. They're studying, rules, regulations, how to become a Brahmin. What did Prabhupada teach people? Varnashram Dharma, how to become Brahminical, and, to follow the rules and all these things. So one of those persons come up to Lord Chaitanya. Okay? Can you relate to anything like that going on here? Okay? So the Lord back then, see the book, the map back then, and here and now in 2019, the Lord was in ecstatic mood, spontaneous devotee, relishing ecstatic worship of the Lord, in ecstasy and conclusiveness. Hey man, I'm in separation, I want bhakti, right? Hey, that's conclusive. So why not go to a gopi who has it? Krishna goes to the gopis. Well, hey, thank you.
Okay.
Hey, you all can come in if you want.
Yeah, she says she just has to do this one thing, then she'll be in. She's a farmer.
Ah, that's right. Yeah, it's got busy farmer stuff to do. There you go. You move all that stuff out of the way. Just a few minutes. Not very long. Just a little bit of a taste here. This is a snack today. Oh, we got the whole 9-10 people. This is Krishna.
Oh, Karuna. I see Karuna.
Yeah,
Yamuna.
Karuna, yeah. Doesn't she look bright and shiny? Wait till you see when it comes out, man. It'll be a spiritual birth.
Volcano.
Volcano, man. When it's ready, man. When the baby's ready, wait for the birth, man. It's going to plop out, and it's going to be a big one. Heavy. A weighty babe, man.
Oh, Lord Chaitanya.
It might even be quadruplets. We might have quadruplets here. I think so, man. I think she took a what do you call those? Fertility drug.
Oh, Krishna. Lord Chaitanya.
She's been impregnated big time. She just listens and listens. So much transcendental sperm has went in her ear. It cannot help to bear fruit of quadruplets.
And I don't understand why, how, what, where. Still asking those questions.
Oh, please forgive me for
But
being
we're having fun. It's so much fun at me. It's so unexpected.
Yeah, it's great.
Unexpected.
We're having a ball here, man. We're having the ball with the Vites too. And they're fun too. They come over. Yeah, they come over and they just they're all personalities and they're kind of observing things. And who is this guy? Srila. They're afraid to say what they really think. Everyone except what's her name, Sir. Your friend.
Swarga.
Swarga, man. Is she outspoken?
She might come with us today.
Oh, no. Oh, no, no.
We're trying to bring her in.
Okay. She's a swimmer, that's right.
She's your only partner. Mean and I don't swim.
So, getting back to the thing. So a student came. Now, see where these everything represent on the map. Okay, we want to see. We don't want in the head stuff, right? We don't want just being a great scholar, right? We want to know, hey, where is this stuff on the map? You know, it's on the map. Where is it in reality? Huh? Well, it's right here, man. And look at this. A student who came to see the Lord was astonished. Okay? Chanting Gopi Gopi, and thus he spoke as follows. Why are you chanting the names Gopi Gopi instead of the holy name of Lord Krishna? Okay? Which is so glorious. Because my unrealized guru has taught me like that. See? My person, he's just one of these gurus, kind of more or less a show, you know, because if he was a real transcendental devotee, he would not understand that, you know, Lord Chaitanya is who he is and all that stuff, you know, but he didn't. See? He had one of those Devananda Pandit gurus, these guys. You'll see in the pastime here, it says there were thousands of them. Just like now. Aren't there thousands of them? Every friggin' where.
Even in the corner, every corner.
Every nook and corny, there's one member of a student community in Vaishnavism, all desiring to be Brahmins like him, right? Oh yes, Varnashram Dharma. This is the ultimate goal of life. And we're so intelligent. We can instruct persons that are spontaneous devotees, especially like Lord Chaitanya or his real followers, like here. You know, come near the hot seat here. Is she ready? Here she comes. The farmer is here. The builder is here. There we go. Like 3 peas in a pod.
I'm one of the peas.
If anybody has to pee, don't do it on the couch.
No.
So why are you chanting the names Gopi Gopi? See, immediately the student community wants to do what? Instruct the advanced devotees. Why don't they chant in ecstatic love? Exactly for that reason. They neophytes want to instruct a devotee engaged in spontaneous devotional service. Anyone with ears, can you hear anything out there? Is that happening in 2019? Is there anybody that you have even an inkling that is engaged in spontaneous devotional service out there? Any hint of it out there? Ah! Is there anybody trying to instruct? Are there thousands trying to instruct them? The book has been there, done that, and here's the rerun. I just want to point out the rerun. Hey, man, it's running again because people, they didn't catch it then. You got the second chance to see if you can learn from this pastime. Isn't that why they're written? Or you think this is just a book to be put on the shelf? Oh, we worship this book. Prabhupada, that you said it was postgraduate. It certainly is, because, you know, it's far out of our reach, and we just put it up there and worship it. But understanding it, that's another thing. You got to come here to do that. So, what pious result will you achieve chanting? See, pious result. People are just, you want to do Varnashram Dharma, you're going to get a pious result. You want that? You don't want a pious result? That's why people probably show up here. Yeah, see, there's nothing pious in this world, because even being a Brahmin, I know this is the birds and the bees, and you don't want to hear this. You're really attached to rules, regulations, and Brahmanism, Varnashram Dharma, and all that stuff, because you've been doing it for 50 years. I understand that. But we are here to teach the truth. The truth will set you free. We got to loosen it up a little bit with the truth. The truth is, what will deliver you is the real piety. What is the real piety? Association with Lord Chaitanya and his real followers. Well, Lord Chaitanya is unmanifest now. Now you got to find a real follower, and then you found Lord Chaitanya, because he's right there, up and personal and close to that devotee. How do you know? Because things are as intense as they were then and now. So intense the devotee feels like his head's going to explode. That's way close. Everything is intense. You know, intense ecstasy, intense bliss, intense truth. So much so you want to skyrocket to the dark side of the moon. And take shelter in that darkness. That's too much. We gotta make a joke of this, otherwise it's too heavy, man.
Oh, Lord Chaitanya.
See why I had to make this class? I was ready to explode. I had to do it. What pious result? Pooh! Pious result. That's, you know, the Vedic Bhakti, they want a pious result. Yeah, you want a pious result? You know, don't instruct Lord Chaitanya, and don't instruct his real followers who are engaged in spontaneous devotion, especially when you can see it. See? Now that is the whole problem in a nutshell. Okay? So hearing the foolish, the foolish student. Oh, he's foolish? I thought he was so smart. But the book says he's a friggin' fool. Oh, is that humbling? If anybody really, are you sure you really want to hear this? Because if you do, you might feel like a fool, like all of us here in our Sangha. We're all fools, but my God, does the Lord give us the smarts? Smart, what is smarts? Simply to associate with real devotees. That is the smartest thing you can do. If a bird does that, or a dog does that, they will attain Krishna. And we've seen it in the past times. A dog just followed Jivananda's saying. How smart is that dog? He was smart enough to follow the devotee. Are you smart enough to follow the spontaneous devotees when they show up here in 2019 yet? Can you recognize them yet? No? We'll keep coming to our what do they call these? Entertaining, our entertainment sports here. Hearing the foolish. Oh, I said that to Sachi, if she's here. No, she's not. I said that to Sachi when she first came. Foolish! Me! She ran down and cried for like an hour, and then she felt all this bliss. See, just by recognizing, all you have to do is say, oh, yeah, you know, really, right, I am a fool. Simple. You think this student would do that? Nah. No. He had to, well, we'll continue the story. I don't want to spoil the surprise. Hearing the foolish student, the Lord became greatly angry and rebuked Lord Krishna in various ways. Taking up a stick, he rose to strike the student. See? So, taking up a stick. The stick could actually be his words, man. You know, that's a better way to think. You don't have to think like a regular stick. He probably did. But actually, the stick of the words is the truth. See? The truth is, here, you know, we're beating on people with a stick. What is that? The truth. You know, we're here to teach a very specific thing. We have a class tonight called Transitioning from Vaidhi to Raganuga, and this is the required homework, is to watch this video. Oh, we'll see how many come back the next week.
There you go.
We're saying, how do you make the transition? All you have to do is withstand one video, and if you hate it, you watch it again. That's the homework. And if you love it, hey man, you're definitely qualified. Wow, this is what I've been waiting to hear. Wow, who's now? Oh, hey, man, come on over, man. Associate and go back home. Hey, man, we're going back to Godhead. No, 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 no. We're bringing Godhead to us. All we do is speak about the truth. Okay. So the student ran away, of course, in fear. You know, can you imagine being afraid of the Lord? Yeah. That's why people see the Lord manifests as servitor Godhead. Now, what does servitor Godhead mean? That means God, right? God is there through the empowered version. That means the qualities of the Lord, if he hits you on the stick with truth, this whole book, this is why it's postgraduate. Prabhupada said, hey, they're not ready to get hit with the stick of the book. But I guess now they are, because Prabhupada said, hey, yeah, now hit them with the stick. Hit the stick of truth. Give them what you've been reading, man. We've been relishing and making you ecstatic. Now share that. And that's this. You know, I just look at this. It's like, wow, man, here's the transition here. All you have to do is realize, if I want to move on, is there anybody out there that wants to move on? And you're a little, like, you've lost a bit of faith in Vaidhi as giving you the ultimate result. And you're really like, Lord Krishna, Krishna, please help me. See? Krishna, by the mercy of Krishna, you get a guru, and then they give you the real Krishna. The real Krishna is the real conception of pure devotional service. That's it. Okay? That is Krishna. That is the truth, right? Truth will set you free. Krishna will set you free. Isn't it Krishna who sets you free? How do I? You think I'm setting you free? No, Krishna is. I'm just delivering you the as it is truth. He's setting you free. I'm just his servant, man. Hey, that's what you got to be a real guru, man. Real guru, you just got to deliver Krishna. You're a mailman. Didn't Prabhupada use that, mailman? Mailman.
That was a breakup.
You know, a mailman. I'm just a mailman. You know, carrying what? The mail. The supreme mail. Krishna, he's like a brick, isn't he? Richard, okay, I ain't going to read this stuff now. All right.
I thought we blocked him.
No, don't block him. No, don't have to block him. Let's let him come out. You just don't have to look at it, that's all. He's just purifying. This is intense stuff. What do you expect, man? If there's anything in there, it's got to come out. Okay. So the devotees pacified the Lord and brought him home, and the student ran away to the assembly of other students. Okay? Hearing of the incident, see, all the students became greatly angry and joined together in criticizing the Lord. So the Lord is represented now by, see, he was ecstatic, right? He came as a devotee, and he showed how it is to worship Krishna in the mood of spontaneous devotion. And it looks different. Isn't it a different way of worshiping than the regular, normal, Vaidhi way, you know, very normal and regimented, and the Swami step, yeah, always, and every year increasing precision by memorization of that step and getting it just perfectly. And you'll never get it perfect because there'll always be an imperfection, and people could, you see, he did this that way. You got to get it even more perfect. So that's just training to get you ready for this other level, by the way. Yeah. See, and joined in, it's like a choir of criticism. You know, they are, blah, blah, blah. Okay. See, and so that, to make this transition, somehow or other you have to become favorable to the Lord or the Lord's devotee preaching it, because for this level to be preached, spontaneous devotion, the same kind of situation has to be enacted. There has to be an empowered representative of Krishna, of Lord Chaitanya. And they have to relish this bhakti like he did. And it has to be seen, but you see, it was seen by the student community who didn't understand it. See? That's why this book is written, to help them understand, right? What is it the old saying say? If you don't understand history, you're doomed to repeat it. So the whole point of us magnifying, clarifying, dramatizing this whole incident is to make it clear so you don't repeat this and miss this opportunity. Many missed it back then even. Did you know that? There are many people that did not. You may say, oh yeah, everybody took. Not everybody took. Many missed it because they were concerned, just like now, in their own activities. Spontaneous devotion was being given then, and people were not aware of how to take to it or why it was important. There were people giving Bhagavad-Gita classes back then, like now. There are gurus giving their classes and their students to thousands, like now. And it missed them because they were not aware of how important spontaneous devotional service is. And they got all those books they're worshiping, but it's all in name. They don't understand why. So until a devotee who is like a bumblebee relishing this nectar comes before us, there is no possibility to have this. But that's what's happening now. The nectar is here. And we're giving you the history, giving second chance at this. Second chance. Because if people stay concerned with their activities, oh, my Bhagavatam class, I got to give I don't have time to go and associate with a spontaneous devotee. If a devotee is ecstatic, that means the Lord is there. He is that ecstasy. If he comes close, the devotee it becomes ecstatic. If you don't see ecstasy in gurus and teachers and temple presidents and followers, what does that mean? The Lord is distant. You want to know what the qualities of the Lord is Satchidananda. It's that simple. That is Krishna. It's Krishna. River read that this morning. This Muslim, he ate beef, man. A beef eater. Blah! Right? These Vaidis say, bah, beef eater. But you know what? He associated with Srivas. He liked a real spontaneous devotee. He did some service. And he said, he saw the Lord's form. And he became jubilant. And your question should be, what is the Lord's form? You think, oh, he saw the picture. Hey, man, Jarasandha saw the Lord's form. He wasn't ecstatic. No, you know what the Lord's form really is? Proof is in the pudding form. That means you see a devotee who is so conclusive, it's like a sledgehammer. So the truth is so conclusive and so clear, it backs a wallop. See? That's Krishna. And then you see ecstatic devotion of the tears and the laughter and choking of the voice and all incredible, powerful bliss. Once you burst out of your human form. Okay? That's Krishna. See? That's proof you like Krishna, not this, well, you see, I see the deity, and then you see the form in the devotee manifesting ecstatic devotion and conclusive understanding. You say, I don't like that. Oh, or, hey, man, I'm just as ecstatic. Oh, I'm more ecstatic than you. Well, let's see it. No, well, that's something. We just don't do that. And all kinds of bullshit stuff you're going to manifest. Lies and trickery and all that stuff. And the tricky people like that. Overly intelligent people. See? Jesus called them. It's a little viper stuff you got to get through. Okay. So the student ran away in fear, and the Lord followed him, but somehow or other the devotees checked the Lord. The devotees pacified the Lord and brought him home, and the student ran away to the assembly of other students. The Brahmana, the Brahmana student, how many people are students to be Brahmins? How many? All of them, right? See, what? Does this make anything sense now? You see, that was happening 500 years ago. It's happening now. Most 99.9% of Prabhupada's disciples are either studying to be Brahmins or worshipping Brahmins. Those Brahmins that are, trying to act as Brahmins in Kali Yuga, whatever they do or don't do, who knows, Okay. Hearing of the incident, all the students became greatly angry and joined together in criticizing the Lord. See, instead of appreciating the pastimes of the Lord, They were angry, and this is impure, this is contamination. Nimai Pandit alone has spoiled the entire country. Okay? And that's what they say about ecstatic devotees, these same Brahmins. How many people have said, Gaurahari, why are you spoiling Prabhupada's work? I've heard this many times. You're trying to destroy what Prabhupada has built. And you know what? They're correct. They are. You think about it. Because if you're overly attached to this Varnashram Dharma, how are you going to move on? How are you going to move on? If you believe you're going to be delivered by your works and your big offensive chanting that has not even got you a tear in the eye, or you went away because you're not getting any taste, what has it done? Didn't you get kind of like, where is this? I want this Krishna. Where is this Krishna that I was promised to me and all that? See? Luckily, she wasn't too attached to that because it wasn't delivering the result. Of course it's not going to do it. It makes you get a desire to attain Krishna. Do you think these students had that desire yet? Not yet. They were still not, they thought, no, I'm happy going to a Brahmin and learning pujas and all. Okay, fine. See, they weren't candidates. Okay? So it's not like we're just destroying the attachment. See? Hey man, you know what is the glory of Nityananda? I'm not saying anything that's against the Shah. The glory of Nityananda, right there in Chaitanya Bhagavad, Advaita said, you are a destroyer of Brahmins. See? How? He destroyed their faith in their Brahmanism to deliver them. And the Lord did that. Brahmins would come to him and they say, oh, you're a nice sannyasi and everything. Tell us about the pastimes of Krishna. You know what he would do? Oh, me? Tell you? No, I go to that Sudra over there. He's not even a Brahmin, man. And he actually touches women sometimes and acts like not a Brahmin, but I go and hear from him. You had to do that to just show that you weren't too attached to your Brahmanism. I mean, you could be a Brahmin and like her, she's a Brahmin, but she's not too attached. She's not too attached. She likes to keep. What did she say?
I'll do Gayatri.
She keeps a nice, clean house, and we observe the ordinances as best we can. As best as us Sudras can. Janaki's more Brahminical than me.
No, I was laughing earlier because my friend, who's a Brahmin, when he came to help cook yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
I'm thoughtless, so I got in the refrigerator, I put some fruit in a cup, and we're cooking, and I start to eat it.
Oh, no. Oh, my God.
Did he say in the kitchen?
Did he say
while I'm cooking?
Did he say anything?
Loga, he said, is that offer?
He says that offer. Poor guy.
I just didn't think about it.
Did you tell him that's not going to save you?
I probably did.
Whether it's offered or not, it's still not. It's external bhakti,
I filled his ear for an hour.
Mm. Yeah. So, you did. That's good.
I have no idea what came out.
Yeah. Oh, does he know about the thing tonight?
No, I told her earlier when to call him.
You gotta call him, text him or something. Okay. So this is the thing. There's a misunderstanding between the Vaidhi community and the spontaneous community. Our spontaneous community is very small. So, it's not easy to overcome this misunderstanding, but that's part of the work. And we will do it because we have the deeper truth. Spontaneous devotion is stronger than Vaidhi Bhakti. It's just all the Shastras say that. It destroys, you got to know the glories of spontaneous devotion and spontaneous devotees when they're here. That's the only time you can enter that path is when they're here. Otherwise you won't know, right? We didn't know about Vaidhi Bhakti until Prabhupada came here and taught it. He revealed that. The Lord said, reveal Vaidhi. Okay? Now, spontaneous devotion is revealed in the book, but where are the people taken to it? It's in the book, all over the place. It's in this pastime, it's everywhere. But where are the people? Because this is why you need the devotee Bhagavad, to speak it, to point out, oh, you see this? Oh, you see this? In Prabhupada's books, yeah. There's more than being a Brahmin in Prabhupada's books. Look, 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 look. See? Otherwise, you're like, I don't see nothing. Even after I point it out, people say, I'll tell you why. It's coming up here. Okay? When all the students thus resolved criticizing Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, listen to this very carefully, their intelligence was spoiled. It was already spoiled anyway. Thus they were learned scholars. Thus, although they were learned scholars, because of this offense, the essence of knowledge was not manifest in them. Okay? That was good for them, believe it or not. This is what it says in the Bible even, that Jesus was a stumbling block for these kinds of Pharisee types and Sadducees. They were learned scholars and everything, but they criticized him, and they stumbled. Stumbling block. They're like, the devotee is a my preaching's a stumbling block. People stumble, right? They stumble into criticism, but is it bad? All those persons eventually, not all, but many of them became followers of Lord Chaitanya. See? Because their intelligence was spoiled anyway, and then it gets really spoiled, and the essence of truth is not manifest in them. The essence of truth is what we preach here. See? It's not, and proof here, if Gaurahari is so offensive and so critical of pure devotees and everything, why is the essence of intelligence manifesting here? Huh? If I was really criticizing pure devotees in the wrong way, why is the essence of intelligence still here? Because that's a law, man. If I criticize a real devotee engaged in spontaneous devotional service, I won't get love of God. Why am I chanting like I do? Why do I know what I know? Okay? So this is the issue. Okay? And this is what we're trying to help the devotees understand. What is the difference between Vaidhi Bhakti and Raganuga spontaneous? Raganuga Bhakti means you don't even have to have the ecstasy yet. But you like the way the devotee is worshiping the Lord. And you like their conclusions that you can check. So those who really want Prabhupada and can be honest enough that they really don't know Prabhupada that well, they'll be attracted. Okay? And because here, then you listen and you check and you say, whoa, I didn't see that before. Okay? So then you can move on. When the students thus resolved criticizing Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, their intelligence was spoiled. It's the same thing with Daksha versus Lord Shiva. Remember that passage? Daksha versus Lord Shiva. So Daksha criticized Lord Shiva, and then the curses came. So the servants of Lord Shiva, who actually had better knowledge than the Brahmins because of their serving a pure devotee, and the Brahmins were serving and exalting Lord Daksha, right, who was actually a critic, even though he followed the rules and regulations like them, he criticized pure devotees. Okay. So the curse of Nandi was, if you accept Daksha as a superior personality, as equal or above Lord Shiva, then you're less intelligent, and you'll only understand the superficial meaning of the Vedas, the external meanings. In other words, you'll just quote verses like a parrot. That's it. You won't have any real deep realization. That's why I ask people who think they're smarter than this fool here, oh, explain that verse. Tell us what you know about it. And I want to see how smart they are. If they really got the mercy of the Lord, they'll have the right intelligence and they'll explain it rightly. If they don't, then you can fool neophytes You know, by getting illusory arguments and false arguments and all that stuff and bullshit and all that stuff and tricky things. But you can't fool the devotees and the Lord. See, the Lord protects the devotees and teaches them these principles that I'm sharing with you guys. I believe in these principles. I believe in these revelations. These revelations give me great protection and purification and ecstasy. See? And I share them with my friends. And that's our families based on that, based on the truth that I feel is truth. And the only way I know it's truth is this ecstatic worship is maintained. Okay. So anyway, we're going to stop soon. So, but the proud, see, the proud, this is another thing, the proud student community, the pride is what causes blindness. And the Vaidhi Bhaktas, because they can't taste this ras that the spontaneous devotees taste, they have to taste the pride. You got to taste something, man. What are you going to taste being a Brahmin? I'm a Brahmin. I'm smart. I'm superior intelligent. You have to. You know, if you can't taste this bhakti, you're going to have to taste that, and then that's what gets you eventually to come to the spontaneous devotees who are tasting this pure ras, see, of the transcendental potency. See, and you think, oh wow, I think I want that. That's better. I know it's a lot. Almost done. On the contrary, the students spoke of the incident anywhere and everywhere. In a laughing manner, they criticized the Lord. All the so-called professors and scientists and their students generally follow regulative principles, see, of religion, fruitive activities, and austerities, the Lord thought. Yet at the same time, they are blasphemers and rogues. You see the qualities? You can follow the regulative principles of religion, strictly even, but still you have the quality of being a blasphemer or a rogue. And blaspheming what? The next platform of devotional service. You see, that happened then, it happens now. How do you overcome that? With the truth, man. What I'm telling you here. It's in the book. It was written for this, to help people make this transition. It's what Prabhupada asked me to do. Tell them what's in the friggin' book. They're not getting it on their own. Yeah, the Ritviks say, oh, all I need is Prabhupada's books. All I need is Prabhupada's books. But well, look how, I want to show you how much I learned about Prabhupada's books. Gaurahari Das, blah, 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 blah. Oh, you really understand Prabhupada's books. You understand that, right? No, you don't. You're a fool. You're a rascal. You're a blasphemer. See? No, I understand everything. So it's all a big boast. This is what they do. And that's why they're all blah, 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 blah. And especially with the spontaneous devotees. Okay? Or anybody. See? So how do you overcome this fault? The only thing I can figure is the truth, man. Jesus taught it, truth will set you free. So maybe somebody will listen and hear it. And does this make sense or what?
Oh, yeah.
It makes sense? It's just right there. I mean, just see. And then you can look. See, a lot of people, they see it in the book but don't see it. But if I mention it and you're really listening closely, you'll see this is happening. We're right there in the pastimes, man. This book and our lives are like this. It's like Meena said, this is the reference point. How are you going to have a reference? You need a point of reference. Well, the devotee engaged in spontaneous devotion is the reference point. Otherwise, you can't tell where this is and what context or anything because you don't have where it's all pivoted on. See, the devotee engaged in spontaneous devotional service is empowered by that pure bhakti potency, which makes the pastime relived. And how are we going to go back to Godhead, or anybody else is going to go unless it's reenacted again, right? It has to be enacted again. So the second, it's, you know, it said that all these people went back to Godhead, you know, the millions.
Second coming.
Yeah, this is the second wave.
Second coming.
Yeah. Well, see, yeah, the second coming is basically, you know, with the Christians, it's always, this spirit is there a lot. But the Siddhanta is not that great. They only have the, you know, one New Testament with, you know, Lord Chaitanya came with the deepest Siddhanta. The only thing is it's lacking the spirit, the activation, see? So we're here to activate it. Yeah? Go ahead, say it. Yeah.
Well, I don't know how it relates, but
Go ahead, say it.
Prabhupada would speak about the East and the West working together because one was lacking one thing and the other was lacking the other.
Uh-huh.
And it was always interpreted as the West was very good at manipulating material nature.
Uh-huh.
But on a spiritual level, you were just saying one is lacking the spirit and the other is lacking the Siddhanta.
Yeah.
Oh, see,
Oh,
my
yeah.
understanding was India has the brains and the West has the legs, and you work with the head and the legs together. The heads
That's
do this.
for external bhakti.
Right.
But on the internal
That's what
platform,
we were taught.
But on the internal platform, one has the Siddhanta, but
Yeah.
not the spirit. The other has the
Yeah,
spirit.
yeah. That's the thing. They have the spirit and the Siddhanta, and that causes them some problems. But you know what? Look at this. Look at this marvel here. We got the Siddhanta and the spirit. That's amazing. That's why it's so powerful here. It's so powerful what's going on here. It's just like the pastime. We read this here coming up. It says, God, it's so hard to understand the pastimes of Lord Chaitanya. It's so deep. So, you know, it's like here we got the Siddhanta of the Vaishnavas and bringing that for the Vaishnava, because those who hear properly are going to get purified and abandon all these opinions that, you know, Varnashram Dharma is the ultimate goal that Prabhupada wanted you to do. That if you can just loosen up on that and listen to this, listen to what's in his books, and then you can say, hey man, you know, I mean, this was with Freddie. Freddie thought he knew. When I first met him, you know, on the computer, and I know Prabhupada's book. I read them all. You remember that time? Yeah. I know all these things. And I said, yeah, what do you know? And he was telling me, and I said, no, you know, that's not. Listen to this. And I kept doing this back and forth thing with him. After a while, he started to say, hey, man, you know, I thought I knew these books, but now I really know in a deeper understanding. I think there's a lot of people like that here, you know? And that's what spontaneous devotion does. It helps you clarify the window so that you can understand what these Mahabhagavats understand. Now, do you see why Guru is one? You understand what they understand. Therefore, you preach what they really, well, sometimes they don't preach it. Prabhupada didn't open, and Bhakti Siddhanta and Bhakti Vinod did not openly preach what I'm preaching. But it's in their books. Matter of fact, it's more in Bhakti Vinod's books. And a neophyte disciple came up to Prabhupada and said, can we read Bhakti Vinod's books? And Prabhupada said, but will you understand them? See? Because his preaching in his books was really deep and is deep. And it's like the preaching I'm doing here. So it's not surprising that most devotees don't understand it yet. But whoever begins to become attracted and to listen and get purified and get this bhakti, okay, you're the first fruits. And this is going to change the face of Vaishnavas. It's going to bring it into the ecstatic platform. I mean,
It's like the devotee is a living purport.
yeah, the living purport, yes. And this is what the Lord wants people to know now, is the confidential purport. You see, in Sri Krishna Samhita, Bhakti Vinod said in the introduction that generally the acharyas ascertain the confidential meaning of Bhagavatam. That's what I teach. Not only confidential meaning of Bhagavatam, Bhagavad-Gita, but the confidential meaning of Caitanya-caritāmṛta. And not only that, the confidential meaning of Rupa Goswami's works when I'm in the mood, early in the morning sometimes. This is the empowerment coming here. See? Bhakti Vinod said, use the acharyas, keep it to themselves. They ascertain it, keep it to themselves and tell you a bunch of rules. Follow the rules, be a moral person. Isn't that where a lot of people, they go to the temple and they, put in, and then, they see a lot of, like I hear, oh, I don't go to the temple anymore, it's too much politics, or they're always on you to all this stuff. And after a while, they can't even go to the temple. It's just not really like, it's just so motivated, religiosity thing. And then they got their only home thing, and then they get to meet together and they eat, because what other ras you got, man? Let's go to Mina's house because there's a lot of good food there.
Good food.
Look at that refrigerator. It is packed. She's a single person, man. Barely eats anything, but it is packed with prasadam, man. Because she knows the only way I'm going to get him over is with a good meal. Just like the early days when Prabhupada was. He said 99% of my devotees are here for what?
Prasadam.
See? That's why we get so few people coming here. These gurus, they get 38, 40, they're so big enough, but 30, 50 people sometimes. We get like only 12 because we don't serve any prasadam as you know it yet. This is the real feast, man. This is the transcendental feast. This makes you forget about that other stuff. This is the real remnants, man. I'm just taking prasadam right now. And you guys are getting the remnants, man. That's how it works. That's the meaning of the taking prasadam of the deity, and it's mahaprasadam. And you take the prasadam of a devotee, it's what? Mahaprasadam. And then when you bring it to this level, the level of the spirit is wapo. Wapo, because I'm Italian. Whoa.
I got that.
She got it. Maha, wapo.
We used to call them mops.
Whoa.
Rangan's not laughing because he didn't get it.
He's not. Is he there?
I don't know, but
Yeah, he probably will.
because I don't get his joke.
Right. Yeah,
This is an American joke. I got it.
They probably got him a lot of tests and doing a lot of tests in the old folks' home. So, okay, So here's your bedpan today.
Hope it's not that bad.
He said it's tough for him. But it's accelerating this program. Kakati says the comforter is distributed by others like Jesus who are pure and empowered to deliver you by mere belief. Yeah. And, well, it's always the same thing. See, that's conclusive. When you believe in empowered representative of the Lord. See, empowered representative of the Lord is the same for Christianity. It's the same for Jesus. It's the same for his disciples. It's the same for Lord Chaitanya. It's the same for his disciples, right? If they're empowered with pure bhakti and that pure Holy Spirit, see, Holy Spirit, Bhakti Devi, same thing. Okay? As I say, the only thing different is the Siddhanta in Christianity is not as clear and deep as it is in the Vaishnavas, because the greatest, this is not just like Jesus Christ coming, this is Lord Chaitanya. See, the way we learn about an incarnation, actually somebody pointed this out, the way you know an incarnation that is the Supreme Lord, they come here and they bring their big entourage. He had thousands of devotees that followed him from the spiritual world. See? How many followed Jesus from the spiritual world? Oh, they got 11. How many are following here right now? See? 12, 14 people. Although we're growing. Who knows? But still, when the Lord is here, man, they just come in droves to be around him in his pastimes. He calls all the demigods. They all want to come. Hey, man, the Lord, the Supreme Lord himself is coming. Let's see what he's going to do. He's spontaneous, man. You never know.
Party time.
It's party. It's just like here. It's party. I mean, we're like a small party compared. But hey, man, any party is good. I mean, I can only take this much bliss, man. This much ecstasy. I mean, I'm ready already. You see, I'm ready to jump out of my skin. You know? Hey, man, my cup is full and getting fuller, and who knows? So we're having a good time here. Join our party, man. Devotional party. Hey, we got up to 14 today so far, and climbing. We'll probably start getting some people coming to Mina's house thinking, well, hey, her prasadam is good, but maybe let's check out this other prasadam that she's gotten access to over here.
Try that tonight.
Yeah, this is the real
We're going to try this tonight. We're going to experiment tonight. We got our experiments.
If you want to eat prasad, if you want to eat the prasadam, you have to come on one Wednesday for Mahabharata. But if you want to taste the prasadam, you have to come on Thursdays and Saturdays.
Yeah, it might taste a little bitter at first. You got to expect. We got to,
We're going to do some popping tonight.
Yeah, we got to understand. It might be a little bit bitter, man.
Popcorn and peaches.
You might want to stop the kirtan. And control it a little bit. I mean, hey, man, I'm used to that. I've had that, or even in our Sangha, I've had Sachi. Oops, she's there. Oops. Oh. She knows many times she wanted to stop my kirtan. It gets too loud, and she wants it under control, man.
Yeah, I remember too.
Hey, man, it's a mode of goodness thing. What are you going to do? That's why you can't go beyond it. You need association. You see, so gradually I'm bringing her. You can't bring her. You got to drag Sachi. No, it's a dragging thing. It's not a bring them, just come on. No, you got to grab them by the hair and drag them to the spiritual dimension. And you got to bring the cats along, too. The cat has to go. She won't go unless, what's that cat's name? Leela goes, right?
Did she ask about the cat today?
Of course, she's our...
She's our cat.
That cat is great here. He's a big fat cat, man, like me. Yeah, the class tonight is at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
We got some calls to make too, right?
Yeah, we got to make some.
Oh yeah, I got to end this soon. Okay, I'm
we got a lot of stuff to do.
We got a lot of stuff. Okay, I'll stop talking soon. Just one little more thing here.
This is the straw.
So the Lord is thinking, if I do not induce them to take to devotional service because of committing the offense of blasphemy, none of these people will be able to take to it. See, if I do not induce them to take to devotional service. Now, they were doing devotional service in practice. See, that's the Vaidhi level. Chant Krishna. See, obviously they were interested in Krishna, right? They were doing what devotees do. But the Lord, doesn't mean, see, you got to hear from a devotee because you think, well, this doesn't apply to, you think all be... No, hey man, they were doing devotional service in practice. But the Lord is meaning, if they don't, read it again, if I do not induce them to take to pure devotional service, okay? Take to pure devotional service, and there's a path. See, how do you take that? That's why you got to come to the platform. You don't just come to the platform of spontaneous devotion. You got to come to the platform of Raganuga Bhakti, which is interested in that. Oh, well, I mean, if you in your past life, you see you've got there, and then you're here, and then you see spontaneous devotion, and you're like Johann, after like a few days of you having dreams of Krishna and Prabhupada and all. Hey, man, you're just carrying it on, man. That's great for us, inspiring, right? So hey, man, we need, you can, even if you get a little jealous of him, that's okay too, because that means you're eager, you want it. But, you got to understand, he's carrying things on, and his cup can take a little more than others. So, yeah. So what was my point? Yeah, if you don't induce them to take to pure devotional service. See, if I don't induce them. And so part of this, I don't think it's going to happen that I'm going to think, all of a sudden, I'm going to take sannyas and wear a tilak and shave this beard. And it's a lot of friggin' work for me. I can't even clean my own room now. Luckily, Krishna sent her. She knows. She comes here after she cleans everything. It's all a mess again. How am I going to do all that, putting the tilak on perfectly straight even? I never could do it as a devotee. It was always crooked and all of this. And they look at me and say, this guy is bogus. See? So is that going to happen? Somehow we have to induce them. How? By the witness program. Okay? They definitely won't believe me, looking like this. I'm not dressed for success. I am, but they can't see it. But the witnesses, by them saying, very good, this is really nice. Wow, it's changed my life. A revolution in my life just listening to this fool,
It's just a little moth. Doesn't bite. No.
What happened?
A bug.
Oh, a bug, yeah.
Not a biting.
They don't bite. They're very friendly here. Even the snakes, they wrap around your ankles to keep warm. All right. So, yeah, because of committing the offense of blasphemy, none of these people will be able to take to pure devotional service. See? So the devotee in that sense is a stumbling block. And that's why they use Lord Chaitanya and Nityananda. Nityananda didn't follow the rules. And people criticized him also. Lord Chaitanya devised the trick of taking sannyas to deliver, and this I'll stop here on this one here, okay? To deliver the most fallen. And this is very humbling. The most fallen, I'm going to tell you why this is so, okay? It's a very important point. The most fallen are the student community. Because of one thing. There's only one fault they have to rectify. And this is the good news to the student community. Even though you are the most fallen, which is important to know, you have one great opportunity to rectify that whole thing, because if you overcome the fault of blasphemy, of the spontaneous devotees, all is forgiven. All is forgiven, and you get it, and you'll get it more probably, because you followed all these rules, and you'll be naturally austere and everything. Now your austerity will bear fruit. Your chanting will bear fruit. Isn't that like that? See, she's kind of natural. She gets up easy and all that because of years of following the empty course of Vaidhi Bhakti, which is designed to, but you get good habits. See, good habits. And then it's, if you get this, man, then it just comes so easy. And you become a great preacher. Look at Johan, man, he's just naturally austere and everything. He's probably going to hell because he doesn't follow Ekadasi anymore. He probably don't care. He'll go down there and preach pure bhakti. I'll go to hell. Send me to hell, man. This is great, man. Hey, man, my Lord goes with me. I know it. See, it's better than being a Brahmin. It's just bhakti, man. Okay, so you see, if you get over this blaspheming, and that comes often through understanding and that's why we got the books. Is to teach this. This is why we're teaching this course. All you have to do is understand the nature of pure devotional service and the pure devotee's symptoms, real symptoms beyond the external signs. Okay? And then, hey man, you're home clear. It'll make more sense. If you come and do 30 days of listening to this, it'll make more sense than anything you learned in 50 years. It has to. It does. Is that kind of like that?
Absolutely. You say 30 days, I say 3 days.
Or even one class. Overturn a lot of stuff, man. A lot of misconceptions. Anyway, we got hundreds or thousands of classes now. Yeah. So yeah, so that's it, man. That's the good news, is just to convince through our witness program. You know, we're just cultivating our bhakti. It's growing at the rate it grows. You can't force it to do what it's going to do what it does. And you can be natural if you need to do this and that. You don't have to be artificially austere. Just keep in regular association, you know, and hearing and chanting together. You know, that's it. And then, yeah. Okay, I could go on more, but we won't.
To be continued.
Yeah, to be continued. One more thing. If these rogues offer me obeisances, the reactions of their sinful activities will be nullified. Okay, and that is how simple it is. If you come to be convinced that basically what we're doing is bona fide here, see, and just give some respect to it. That's why even if a person's not even a disciple, you're a well-wisher. Wow, I really like what Gaurahari's doing. I really like these devotees in his sangha. Boy, that's a great family they got. All your sins are nullified. And they feel it. People feel it. I've already seen the results of people like that. They like what we're doing and everything. And well, I'm on another path. Or I'm even a Mayavadi type. Even in here, we've got some strange things going on here. But with certain devotees, just naturally. But still they give respect and honor here. You know, even though they got their little things going on, and they get ecstatic. Don't we see that? People have tremendous karmic things and conditioning, and the Lord says, still give me, and the inside they say, you know, I really like what you're doing. You know, sometimes I try to force it a little bit, but you know, maybe it's too much. I don't know. Force the issues, but still, in their heart, they really appreciate. You know. And that's the main thing. The Lord keeps with them, you know, keeps purifying. Okay? All right, so if you missed any of this, watch the replay. Hare Krishna, and put it up there, Karuna, if you wouldn't mind, on YouTube. Put a nice title to it, which I may change, you never know. I wore my beads like Meena wears on the farm. Aha!
Who's that?
A River Yamuna.
Oh yeah, river.
Yeah. Okay, we got work to do. Hare Krishna. Let's see, until I got the wheelbarrow caught on them, it nearly took my head off. It was a sign from Krishna to internalize the process.
Is that Karuna?
No, Yamuna.
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 Oh, Yamuna.
Maha, bona fide. Oh. Okay, thank you. Hey, Tom, great progress you're doing there.
Yeah.
Just keep at it.
We
you know.
used his last night.
Yeah. Tom, oh yeah, last night when everyone arrived for the Mahabharata, Tom was live singing, singing with Karuna and Yamuna, and then he joined your kirtan. So that's what they entered hearing when they came in last night.
It was perfect.
It was so perfect. Thank you, Tom. It was beautiful. Didn't even know we were watching, probably.
Not bona. You know, it's so funny. I got to speak about it. Richard wrote bona fide, and I thought, wow, he's making progress. And then he writes back, not bona fide.
Well, in his head.
What
Just
is not?
keep coming to class.
What is
Richard.
not bona fide, by the way?
Right.
What is? Yeah. So anyway, I don't know. It's probably, if it's about me, well, you're still purifying. That's okay. Hare Krishna, everybody.